Last year, I had a neighbor who was also my friend. She'd been my friend since I was 2 years old. Her name is Jalissa. Her mom and grandmother were also very close with my parents. Of course, my parents sometimes said they were jealous and even a bit racist, but despite that, we used to go to places together and even take trips as families. It all started in May of last year. I began to feel like Jalissa was avoiding me at school. I brushed it off at first. Around that time, my dad's car suddenly broke down. He called a mechanic who lived nearby, and although the repair took a whole week, the car still wasn't fixed. Then, a second car broke down too. Since my dad couldn't work, things became really difficult for us. That's when the neighbor next door offered to take my dad's car to his garage and fix it. He test drove it and even went pretty far, and it seemed perfectly fine. But that night, I was looking out the window, watching my dad drive home. The moment the car pulled into our front yard, it stopped. It had broken down again. My dad was shocked. Everyone thought it was strange. The neighbor took the car back again and attempted to fix it once more, but another week passed and we had no money left. My dad went to see someone named Ro Ko, who was a psychic. What that person told him completely shocked him. I didn't know anything about it for a few days. A few days before my exams, my parents took me somewhere and I could tell something was wrong between them. But they left me sitting in the car. Later, I found out it was the psychic's house. Through the window, I saw a red candle and flowers placed on a desk inside. My mom told me it was a sacred place. We went back to see the psychic a few more times. Afterward, my dad asked me, "Do you know why we went there?" I said no. Then he told me, "The reason we went is because your best friend Jalissa's mom poured a dead person's bodily fluids into our front yard. It was terrifying. She's been trying to break our family apart since 2015. That's why your mom's foot hurt back then. And in 2019, when my foot hurt and I had to go to the hospital, that was because of her too. She's done all kinds of things. In February 2024, she sprinkled liquid from a corpse she got from a mortuary into our yard. She was trying to make your mom and me fight and go crazy so we'd break up. She wanted to be with me. She always thought we were wealthy. The reason I had to go to the hospital for surgery was because of her. She put a curse on your mom, but your mom is strong." My dad looked terrified. He said she poured a strange, sticky liquid in our yard to let evil spirits into our home. She believed that if my dad stepped on it, his legs would rot. For 9 years, day and night, she had done all kinds of things. All my parents' fights and problems, he said, were because of her jealousy. Now the psychic Ro Ko has given us something protective to bury in our yard. But my dad still has nightmares every night that Jalissa's mom and her new boyfriend are plotting something. Our family is doing well now, but we don't talk to Jalissa's family anymore. And I don't keep in touch with Jalissa either. Sometimes I miss her because she used to be my friend, but I think things are better this way. Hi Wanzi, I've been a fan of your channel since I was in 9th grade, and now I'm a college student. I wanted to share a really mysterious experience I had. You can call me Rini. I live in India, and back then we moved often because of my dad's job. Eventually, he was transferred to Dehradun, the capital of Uttarakhand. Dehradun is known for its lush greenery, pleasant weather, and relatively safe environment, so my parents quickly fell in love with the city and we ended up living there for quite a while. That's where I experienced something truly strange. This happened in 2016, when I was in 4th grade, right at the start of summer vacation. One day, my friend, who I'll call S, came over because her parents were busy with work. We were extremely bored and just wandering around the garden with nothing to do. That's when we noticed something large flying in the sky. It was glowing and looked pure white. At first, I thought it was just an insect, but when I looked more closely, it looked like a tiny human figure. I could hardly believe what I was seeing. It honestly resembled a fairy, with a thin, almost fragile-looking body and very large wings that appeared slightly worn. If I had to guess, it was probably around 13 or 14 inches tall. I thought I must be hallucinating, but then my friend said she could see it too. We both screamed at the exact same time. We were so startled that we pinched each other to make sure we weren't dreaming. When we quickly grabbed a phone and opened the camera to take a picture, it had already disappeared. The memory is still incredibly vivid to this day. I even drew a sketch of what I remember it looking like. To this day, we still have no idea what it was. There's a story that still haunts me to this day. My name is Brian, and I'm from Sarawak, Malaysia. This happened exactly 10 years ago when I was still in college. The three of us, me, Hafiz from Johor, and Mustaqim from Kuala Lumpur, went on a short trip to Penang during our mid-semester break. After we arrived, we spent the day wandering around and sightseeing. That's when the incident happened. That night, the three of us were walking back to a Rama Villa apartment we had rented for our vacation, smoking as we went. Near the stadium, there's a famous spot called the Pasar Road Walk in Lowak. On the way to the apartment, there's a small bridge called the P. Ramlee Bridge. As we were walking and about to pass that bridge, we suddenly heard branches rustling above us. As we got closer, we could see it more clearly. It looked like some kind of monkey, but its body was pitch black, its eyes were red, and it had 4 arms and 2 legs. It was eating something. Then it dropped whatever it was holding and suddenly stared straight at us before chasing us. We ran as fast as we could. Somehow, all 3 of us managed to escape, and after that night, we never passed through that area again after dark. But that wasn't the end of it. The next day, when we were leaving the apartment to head to campus, we saw the creature run away after dropping a dead cat onto the hood of my friend's car. We were completely shocked. What was it? How did it know which car belonged to us? And where had we parked? It was as if it could smell us. The 3 of us agreed to keep what happened a secret between us because there was no way to explain what that creature was. During my senior year of high school, there was this kid. Let's call him Jonathan. He was in 11th grade, and people had this strange nickname for him, the Freshman Killer. If you knew, you knew. It unsettled me, to say the least. I found out about it because one of my friends, let's call him Kay, was in the same grade as Jonathan and lived on the same block as me. I wasn't friends with Jonathan, though. Every morning, Kay and I would take the same bus, and Jonathan would always dap us up. But there was something off about him. He had this creepy, unnerving look in his eyes. Not wanting to seem rude, I reluctantly returned the dap, masking the discomfort I felt. During lunch, I often sat with Kay's brother, Josh. Jonathan would always gravitate to our table, uninvited. We joked about it, calling him the Freshman Killer to his face, half laughing at how strange and inappropriate he seemed. Sometimes, we would tell him straight up that his behavior was weird. Eventually, Jonathan made this off-putting comment. "I don't hit on freshmen anymore, only sophomores and up." Like that somehow made it better. Josh and I were disgusted, exchanging glances filled with repulsion. Time went on, and I convinced Kay and Josh to distance themselves from Jonathan. We gradually stopped talking to him, but it didn't stop Jonathan from lingering. He started showing up in my 7th period class, even though he wasn't enrolled in it. Other students said the same. He'd be seen in random classes, just sitting there. It was during this time that his name began circulating on the school's confession page. Accusations of him being a creep, a predator, worse, were posted for all to see. I was thoroughly repulsed by then, but something held me back from completely cutting ties. One thing about Jonathan always stood out, the guitar case he carried around. He claimed it was for band class, but something about it unsettled me. One day, in what I thought was a lighthearted joke, I blurted out, "He's got a gun!" mimicking a meme. Jonathan's face darkened. "Shut the hell up, dude," he muttered. I followed it up by joking, "Imagine if you actually had something in there." He didn't seem pleased, but we all laughed it off, thinking nothing more of it. I never imagined what the joke could become. Another time, I saw him with the guitar again and told him he should play something. He almost did, but before he could, the teacher called us to class. After that, I stopped talking to him altogether, and eventually, I graduated and left all that behind. Fast forward 4 months after graduation, and I saw a meme one of my friends posted. "Stay away from Jonathan Diddy Wells," it read. I chuckled, remembering how weird he'd been. Out of curiosity, I texted a friend who still attended the school. "Yo, do you know a guy named Jonathan Wells? People used to call him the freshman killer, right?" His response made my blood run cold. "Yeah, I know Jonathan. He's the one who threatened the school." I stared at my screen in disbelief. Then came the next message. He had a gun in his guitar bag. The weight of what he said sank in. My stomach churned. I had joked about that very thing. I had laughed it off, never once imagining it could be real. I couldn't help but replay that moment in my mind. The teacher stopping us before Jonathan took out the guitar. What if that teacher hadn't? What if Jonathan had unzipped that case? That thought still haunts me to this day. Knowing I might have helped brush off something so dangerous, something that could have turned into a nightmare, terrifies me in a way I will never forget.